Monitor shopping in 2026 is a minefield. Every box is covered in badges and buzzwords designed to make you feel like you're getting a deal when you might be getting the worst panel for how you actually use your screen. Let's go trot all of it. TN. Twisted Pneumatic. Oldest LCD tech still being sold, and the fact it's still around says everything about what it's good at. Speed. 1 millisecond response times, up to 360 Hz refresh rates. That's why professional esports players still run TN panels. In Counter-Strike or Valorant at the highest level, a frame arriving late is the difference between the kill and the death screen. Outside that specific use case though, TN is rough. Colors look washed out, blacks look gray, and the viewing angles are genuinely terrible. The image is accurate from exactly one position, dead center. Move 2 inches to the side and the whole thing looks like a deep-fried screenshot. If you're not competing seriously, TN in 2026 is a waste of money. VA. Vertical alignment. Doesn't get talked about enough. The crystals stand upright when off, blocking the backlight almost completely, which gives you contrast ratios between 3,000 and 6,000 to 1. IPS sits around 1,000 to 1. The downside is dark smearing. When pixels transition from near black to slightly brighter, you get a muddy trail behind moving objects. Manageable for movies and single-player games. For competitive gaming and dark maps, it's a real issue. IPS, in-plane switching. Built to fix TN's viewing angle disaster, and it became the standard for color-accurate work for a reason. Consistent color no matter where you're sitting. Modern fast IPS panels now hit 1 millisecond response times, which kills the old argument that it's too slow for gaming. The weakness that never went away is black levels. The backlight is always on, so black on IPS is technically very dark gray. In a bright room, you'd never notice. In a dark room, there's a faint glow in the corners called IPS glow, light leaking through the edges that you cannot calibrate away because it's not a calibration problem. OLED. Before we continue, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want more videos like this, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's get back to it. This is where the LCD conversation becomes a different category entirely. No backlight. Every pixel is its own light source. When a pixel shows black, it switches off completely. That's why OLED contrast ratios are listed as infinite. Response times are 0.03 milliseconds, 30 times faster than the quickest IPS panel. The concern that follows OLED everywhere is burn-in, and static elements, a taskbar, a game HUD, can leave a permanent ghost. Manufacturers have done a lot to manage it, and the risk is genuinely low for most people now. But if you're running a fixed desktop setup 12 hours a day for years, it's still a conversation worth having before you spend the money. QLED sounds like it belongs next to OLED. It doesn't. It's a standard IPS or VA panel with quantum dots added to the backlight, nanocrystals that produce purer reds and greens, widening the color gamut measurably. Better color, not better blacks. Those are genuinely different things. Mini LED is not a panel type. This is what the box wants you to miss. It's a backlight upgrade. Instead of a few dozen LED zones, Mini LED uses thousands of microscopic LEDs that dim independently. Dark areas go dark while bright areas stay bright in the same frame. Peak brightness regularly hits 1,500 to 2,000 nits. The trade-off is blooming, a subtle halo around bright objects on dark backgrounds. High zone counts minimize it. No burn-in risk. Currently the most practical alternative if OLED's caveats put you off. So to wrap it, TN for competitive speed, VA for contrast and cinematic immersion, IPS for reliable color-accurate everything, OLED if you want the best image money can buy, QLED for wider color on an LCD budget, Mini LED for OLED adjacent quality without the burn-in conversation. In this next video, we're breaking down every Wi-Fi generation and why your internet feels slow even when your plan says it shouldn't. Subscribe and I'll see you there.